Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Sheppard with Align Family Wellness. Today's video podcast is going to be all about why kids plateau. And so I want to talk through this because there are a lot of parents that kind of feel a little frustrated or disheartened when their child seems to be making great progress with their neurological challenges or their behavior, even just, their pain-based issues. And then suddenly everything kind of stalls out. Maybe you've even noticed regression. A lot of times behaviors can kind of return, even though you were thought they were gone forever. We have sleep disruptions again, emotional regulation challenges start to resurface. And so sometimes it can be, you can wonder a little bit if your care plan is even working or if something's going wrong. So I want you all to take a deep breath and understand that plateaus and even regressions are really, really normal, and they're actually part of the healing process. And so the neurological healing journey is not a straight line. It's more kind of like a roller coaster, and it goes ups and downs, and sometimes there's some twists and turns in there. But that's how our nervous system heals. And here's what parents often miss: those plateaus are not signs of failure. They are actually evidence that your nervous system is working through the deep, deep layers of dysfunction and adapting to this new level of organization within the nervous system. So, this message is for parents whose children are on this journey of healing. Whether your child has sensory processing, ADHD, just anxiety, just mental blocks in their day, or other health challenges, and you've noticed periods of time where progress seems to stall or even reverse. So, we're going to talk about why these plateaus happen, even like from growth spurts to immune challenges to environmental factors and emotional stress. And you're going to learn how to identify different types of healing plateaus, understand the science behind them, and gain the confidence to navigate these challenges with patience and resistance. So, as a neurologically focused chiropractor, I see this pattern every day in our office. Most parents who bring their kiddos in will experience what our research calls like nonlinear healing. So there is research on the neuroplasticity of the brain. So it has the ability to reorganize itself, form new connections, and in some instances, even generate new neurons. So it's even been observed that children typically experience periods of rapid advancement followed by a condition of phases where skills are then integrated. So the same pattern applies to neurological healing, where it's kind of two steps forward, one step back progression. It's not a failure. It's the brain's way of reorganizing and creating lasting change. So first, we're going to discuss growth spurts and developmental milestones, which can be a cause for plateaus, which we see a lot in our office. So when your child grows rapidly or masters new skills, they're, in that first 3, 6, 9 months of life, 1 year, or we're hitting puberty, we're just really, growing a lot, their body's energy and resources may be directly applied towards physical growth and that nervous system integration. During a growth spurt, your child's body is working intensely to lay down new bone, new muscle, new neural tissue. It requires tremendous amounts of energy that may temporarily be diverted from other healing processes. So this can show up as moodiness, disrupted sleep patterns, temporary regression, and other areas of their nervous system focus and on integrating these physical changes. So remember, these growth-related pauses are ultimately signs of progress, not setbacks. So each time your child's nervous system successfully integrates a new skill, rolling over, sitting up, crawling, walking, it becomes more resilient overall. So, another significant factor in plateaus is immune challenges and their effects on the healing process. So, fevers and illnesses aren't simply obstacles to progress, they are sophisticated neurologic responses that can actually accelerate healing in the long run. So, when your child has a fever, their immune system triggers their hypothalamus's thermoregulatory center, which leads to an increase in their body temperature. This activates immune cells and creates an environment that is inhospitable for pathogens. So we're raising that body temperature so that pathogens cannot live there anymore. But during this process, the nervous system diverts all resources to working on that nervous system response, which makes your child what? Sleepy, irritable, really irritable, just groggy, sometimes disconnected. So this fever process stimulates the release of neurotrophic factors. These are special proteins that support neuron growth and plasticity, potentially accelerating neurologic development after recovery. This is why we see major breakthroughs following illnesses, though there may be a slight brief regression right afterwards while they're just, still not feeling themselves. Then they're going to get better and better even quicker. So, number three is environmental factors like toxins and mold exposure can impact their neurologic process. So, children with pre existing neurologic challenges often have nervous systems that are dysregulated, making them way more sensitive to toxins. Everything is toxic now. Pesticides, heavy metals, flame retardants, furniture, all of the things that we touch on a daily basis, cleaning products, laundry soap. Mold exposure, whether from hidden leaks or poor ventilation, releases myocytotoxins that can lead to cognitive impairments and neurological signs. So, environmental stressors can contribute to temporary plateaus in progress as the body works to eliminate and process these supplements or these substances. So, like if you have mold in your house, that would be something I would immediately address. If you notice that your kids are chronically sick, they have emotional issues, behavioral issues, you have to address that mold. It is so, so, so toxic. They can also do some testing for mold if you have a functional pediatrician. So, number four is let's address how emotional stress and busy life changes create what to be setbacks. We're getting ready to go into a new school year, and that's when we see a lot of challenges for kiddos. So, sometimes even subtle shifts in family dynamics can trigger fight or flight response in children with neurological challenges. A lot of times with my pregnant moms, their toddler is really misbehaving badly towards that third trimester of pregnancy. And so that toddler can basically sense that something's happening with that family dynamic, and then they start having issues with behaviors again. So this stress response will release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which they can overwhelm children's nervous system already. So over time, this chronic state of stress can contribute to developing what we call subluxations, or areas of dysfunction within the nervous system that further perpetuate this cycle of dysregulation. This is why we see regressions during periods of change or high emotion. The nervous system is allocating resources to manage that perceived stress rather than continuing to make developmental progress. And I say this a lot in my office, is, your body can't rest and digest. It can't sleep. It can't poop. It can't do those things when it thinks it's being chased by a bear all the time. So we have to decrease that nervous system stress so that our body can do the things that, normally little kids can do: eat, sleep, poop. So if they're not doing those things, their nervous system is overloaded. So we're going to talk about how medication and therapy overload can contribute to plateaus. A lot of medications are designed to suppress or override the signs rather than get to the root cause of the neurologic dysfunction. So it kind of shuts the body down, and it covers up, guys. The medications cover a lot of stuff up. There's a time and a place for medications, but a lot of times we're just basically kind of using it as a Band-Aid. We're not really working on the root cause underneath. So when we begin true healing by restoring the brain and body communication, balancing the nervous system, the body tends to wake up again. A lot of times, some of you guys are working with your functional pediatricians to decrease medications, and we will see symptoms flare up as we come off of these medications. It's because we're resurfacing these underlying patterns. The nervous system has very limited capacity, in which we recommend prioritizing this nervous system regulation first, and then add in additional therapies, adding in, speech therapy, OT, those sort of things. So we know these hidden plateaus can be so frustrating, but do not get discouraged. Most of the time, it's simply one or more of the outside stressors just putting a little bit of the headwind in play. And once the stressor passes, your child builds up additional resilience and adaptability. They'll blow right past, and they'll get right back on path to progress and to breakthrough once again. If you have more questions, you can click the link in our bio. You can head to the blog on our website, or send us a DM if you have questions. We would love to connect with you.